Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS review. This time we are bringing you our review of Season 4 of The Expanse, the new Amazon Prime series that was brought over from Sci-Fi. The Sci-Fi canceled it. Amazon Prime picked it up because, again, very loyal fan base, very dedicated, passionate fan base that wanted to see this show continue. And before we get into it, let me say, maybe it was worth it. A little bit, maybe not, but maybe it was worth it a little bit. So, we had the pleasure of seeing the first 6 episodes of this amazing 4th season of The Expanse. Now, let me start off by saying, I was picked to review The Expanse. I've never seen an episode of The Expanse. So the first 3 seasons, I had the slice idea what this show was. I did not know this show existed until around San Diego Comic-Con, where they did a big Expanse experience, and I say, hey, what the hell is that? And then I was told what The Expanse was, and my friends don't do good jobs of describing shows for me. So, I ended up watching all 6 episodes with no knowledge of what The Expanse was. And the reason that I did that is because I wanted to be the fresh guy who has, or fresh guy or gal who have Amazon, who sees this show pop up and say, I want to try to watch it, but I don't want to watch the first 3 seasons of it. Let me see what this show does. I wanted to come from that perspective. Then I ended up watching an amazing YouTube tip of Kevin Smith, along with Amazon, explaining the first 3 seasons of The Expanse. And then I watched it again. Completely 2 different experiences, but neither one of them really bad. So, let's get into the show really, really quickly. Mild spoilers. Very, very mild. I'm not going to try to spoil next to nothing here, because I do think for people who are looking for this show, it's kind of important that you don't get spoiled on anything. So, 4th season opens up the way the 3rd season ends, with the ring in all its amazing glory. That those effects that they did for the ring and the spaceships. At season 4, we get a group of Belters heading towards the ring. They don't really explain much of anything, but they just heading towards the ring. I'm guessing for a sense of freedom, purpose, just a better world, better life type thing. But in those scenes where we see them racing towards the ring and the RCE racing after them to attempt to stop them from going into the ring, great special effects. As I'm watching it, again, this is a show, so you do know they're not going to have the movie level effects, but still, for a television show, the effects were really, really good. And then after that, we get a quick scene with Holden and Ghost Dad, as I call him. I call him Ghost Dad. I think it's Proto Miller, but I call him Ghost Dad. And we get a scene with them, which is very confusing. And then we get Holden meeting with Princess of the World. That's what I'm calling her. Avasarella. I think I'm saying her name right. I know I am, actually. Avasarella. And she tells him, and she wants the crew of the Rasante to go to this new planet called New Terra. The name of the planet is Isthmus. I know I'm saying that right. I-L-U-S. Isthmus. Isthmus. One of those 2. But they call it New Terra. And the reason they call it New Terra is because the RCE wants it as that because they can stake claim to it by naming it. They're trying to get rid of the group of Belters that went there. She sends the crew of the Rasante there just to explore the planet. Find out what's going on. Keep the peace, kinda. And that's when this show turns into some of the best Star Trek I've seen in a while. So it's kind of weird for me, because this show really felt like Star Trek with cursing in it. Jeez Louise, lots of cursing in it. This show has so much cursing in it. I don't know if it had this much cursing when it was on Sci-Fi Network, but now that they have moved to Amazon Prime, boy, they just let the F, the M, the C-bombs, and I'm not going to say what those words are, but you know what those words are. They let them fly on this show. It's craziness. But, again, once the crew arrives and they meet with the Belters and the RCE, I'm not going to go into what happens. Something happens with the RCE as they arrive onto the planet. I think it's a spoiler, and it's something that I think that you all who like the show, you should be able to see on your own, so I'm not going to say what it is, so I'm going to skate around, not saying what that is, to get to a point of when they get on the planet, they discover a little conflict between the 2. It's clear that the RCE was sent there with the intentions of removing the Belters from the planet, while the Belters who have adjusted oxygen wise, everything wise, life wise, to this planet, they don't want to go. They've settled there. They don't want to go. It's really a show about colonization. At least it seems like that with the first 6 episodes. And just a group of people who have settled there, who think this is perfect for a new life, and a group of people who feel that they should not be there and they are entitled to anything. It is that type of conflict, especially in this day and age, that really, really works well for this show and this season. Now, the only problem I'm having so far with this season is there are 2 subplots. Avazarella is facing her first election for UN Princess of the World, and then we have this Martian military person named Bobby. Clearly, if you know the show, you know who I'm talking about, who gets involved in a life of crime. Now, these 2 subplots are like working against the plot that I care the most about, which is the crew and what happens on New Terra. That's what I care about. That's what I'm telling you. That's what most of you are going to probably care about. Unless you're really into the show, then you're going to love those 2 subplots. But if you're just like me, you're coming in fresh, or maybe you watched the recap and you wanted to see everything, you're only going to care about the stuff in New Terra. That stuff is great. It's amazing. Holden, Naomi, Alex, Burton, the cast is all there. It really, really works. They have an evil sociopath on here also, who just like goes from being a kind of a nice guy to the most evil person in the world, but you kind of see it coming a million miles away. But that's perfectly fine. I don't think this show is built to surprise you as much as it's built in this, not perfection, in its execution of its storyline, which is damn near perfect. It's really, really weird the way they are able to move those pieces along to even bring a person like me, again, who's never seen this show, and have me interested in seeing this show again. So, the first 6 episodes are a very slow burn for anyone out there. Even for people who I know who have seen the other seasons of it, and I was kind of describing some of it, they even say that kind of sounded slower than what they were accustomed to with this show. So it is a slow burn. But after the 6 episodes, you get to the crux of what these issues are, and the excitement picks up on it. So I'm excited to see the last 4 episodes to see how are you going to bring this stuff to a conclusion, or at least to move forward to the 5th season, which we already know they have one because it's already been pre-approved for 5th season of this show. So, again, if you like the show, this is something you've been waiting on. You've been waiting for this 4th season. I know plenty of people like that. If you're like me and you've never seen this show before, just think Star Trek with cursing. If you're not really into sci-fi, this is not your bag. The writing may be good enough to get you by. The acting is okay at best. It has some really, really good TV effects, as long as you're not comparing it to stuff like The Mandalorian and things of that nature, but just like basic cable type effects. It's really, really well. Really, really well done. I think you're going to like it. So far, again, first 6 episodes, kind of a slow burn. Not the most exciting, but for the story, it really works. So if you're into storytelling at its best, this is something for you. This has been JVS and my trying to not spoil anything review of season 4 of The Expanse. Please check it out. It drops December the 13th on Amazon Prime. Peace, people.